Get me out your head, but baby, I'ma leave you on red. Baby, I'ma leave you on red. Yeah, I know you want me. You better get in line.
Hello and welcome to the Here for the Chaos podcast, episode 6. Yes, I'm gonna start saying episodes now, so be ready. I apologize this video is late. Your girl been going through it, like life really do be kicking my ass several times. I'm doing something I thought I would never do, which is be on camera without makeup, but honestly, if I don't do it like this, it's not gonna happen, okay? So just don't comment on my face, okay? Just don't do it. So today we have two pretty heavy topics, so trigger warning for sexual abuse regarding adults and children, pretty much just anything you can think of, because again, we're talking about Colleen Ballinger, okay? So just all the things, be aware of that. I wish I could put chapters, but I found out last video that I need 1,000 subs, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your mom, your uncle, your aunt, your cousin, the grocery store worker, the mail, I was gonna say mail clerk, mailman, mail woman, mail person. Literally tell everyone that you run into. Tell your dogs, tell your cats, I don't care. Until then, I will be leaving a comment pinned on every video with the timestamps so you don't have to filter through everything. Thank you to everyone that has been subscribing. I know I'm still a pretty small channel, but it's been growing really fast, like faster than I thought it was going to. So I appreciate it. If you're new here, hey, we have fun over here. We're chaotic over here. That's it. Let's get into it. So the first topic is toxic gossip train really just never ends. It's reusable fuel forever. We really should look into acquiring that for the environment and everything else. We're going to go into a little bit of what happened. I don't have the energy in me to recap everything because it's very complex and very intricate, but I'm going to do the best I can with the help of Reddit because they do be coming through with the summaries. So let's go. First, for anyone who doesn't know, which at this point, I genuinely don't know how you couldn't. Colleen Ballinger was Miranda Sings, who was a YouTuber. She was a star girl. I don't know how, but it happened. And she was a comedian. I don't know who gave that title out. I think we may need to see if we're reading the right dictionary, see if these definitions line up, because that's not what I was getting. But she was a YouTuber, performer, whatever, has her own show, sold out tours, all this kind of crazy stuff, was very successful off YouTube. And it recently came out, starting with Adam McIntyre, that she was not appropriate with her underage fans.
The Colleen Ballinger controversy explained. So 3 years ago, a minor named Adam, who was 17 at the time, posted a video called Colleen Ballinger Stop Lying. And in this video, he describes the fan relationship he had with Colleen Ballinger since he was 13. He said that he considered himself and Colleen to be friends, that when he was around 14 and 15, they would frequently message on social media, and said that Colleen would vent to him about her divorce and share intimate personal details about her life with him. He also had a similar friendship with her friend Corey, and this is all of them when they went to lunch together. And in this video, he reveals that his parents felt uncomfortable with him having such a close relationship with an adult woman and her friend. For context, Colleen was 30-something and he was 14, 15, 13. In the same video, he discussed how Colleen sent him lingerie as a joke. Colleen's defense of this is that she found one of his tweets funny while she was doing a live stream giving away things. So when she sent him the lingerie, she didn't really think anything of it or think about how it would be inappropriate for an adult woman to be sending a minor lingerie. The reason Adam ended up posting the video was because when he was 15, Colleen gave him the password to her Twitter account to post promotional content. The reason the situation went south is because he posted a pre-approved meme basically joking that Miranda Sings was coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan, which caused Colleen to get backlash for queerbaiting. She then asked him to log out of the account and eventually ghosted him. Adam says that he found out that when she ghosted him, she was bad-mouthing him to other fans. As a result, he became on the receiving end of a lot of hate and backlash. He wanted to share his own side of the story.
So, what did Colleen Ballinger do? A summary of problematic behavior. Sending nude photos to minors and employees. She would send nude photos of Trisha Paytas. They would have viewing parties. They would talk about her body and how it looks, and they would just send it for seemingly no reason from what I can see. It was just very strange. sexualizing minors and behaving inappropriately during her Miranda Sings shows. A good example of that is Becky, who was one of her fans that was called on stage, and Colleen refers to it as a fart joke. That wasn't what it was. She took this child who self-admittedly said that they dressed skimpier to get called up on stage because that's what got her attention, and guess what? She was right, it did. She got called up on stage and Miranda like spread her legs open while she's wearing not an appropriate amount of clothing, and Becky said she felt very exposed and very taken advantage of. That's what Miranda called a fart joke.
Hi, okay, my name is Becky. I'm the girl in this video, and this video has over a million views, and that is a lot of people to be seeing this story without hearing it from me, so I want to explain this. So I was a fan of Colleen and all the Ballinger family for a very, very long time, and I think in this video I was about 16. If you've never been to a Miranda show, Colleen frequently has segments where she calls people up on stage. One of those segments was the porn bit, which I'm not really going to be explaining in this video.
I actually do want to step in here and explain this porn bit because I think it's important to know the context and it's just gross. So Colleen Ballinger was doing, up until very recently, a tour where she was her Miranda Sings character, and she would do a bunch of different comedic sketches. And of course, her audience is children, so the people that get called onto stage are children. And this porn bit, she would call a kid onto the stage, and if she thought their outfit was too quote unquote skimpy, she would call it porn, or basically compare it to porn, saying that the child looked like a porn star. The early 2000s were just such a wild time because I genuinely don't know how this was ever a thing. I don't know who would think comparing children to porn is funny, but by doing that, she inadvertently, or maybe it wasn't inadvertently, maybe it was on purpose. I honestly don't know. That's alleged. She would, like Becky said, make children think that they had to dress up skimpier to get called onto stage, and they did, because she would call the kids that were dressed not appropriately on stage. And just take a second to think about how sick that is. You would conjure up a bit of your predominantly child audience that purposefully makes them want to dress in a certain way for you to degrade them in front of hundreds of people. So yeah, that was the porn bit.
But that's why I was kind of trying to dress skimpy so that I would be called up on stage and basically get degraded by Miranda. But I did not get called up for that. I got called up for the yoga challenge. Now, as soon as I stood up from the audience, I saw Colleen's eyes widen because she realized I was not wearing pants. But for some reason, that didn't stop her from continuing. In fact, no adult at any point stepped in this situation. So we get to the point in the yoga challenge where I am laying down and Colleen is spreading my legs basically as far as she can. She spreads them so far that you can see the spandex I was wearing under my romper, which thank God I was wearing. Now, the original video posted by Xandar, I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong, is only a screenshot, but there is a whole video of this. But that screenshot is the most important because that is the moment I will never forget, where I was laying under Colleen and she was smirking down at me while thousands of people were laughing, and I was terrified that my body wasn't covered up enough by the spandex or the romper. I basically felt naked, so it felt incredibly sexually violating. I was younger and my body was still developing and I was still becoming comfortable with myself, so for her to use my body as entertainment on stage really set my confidence back quite a lot. And not to mention, after all this, after the show, I had to walk back to my car where there was many men staring at me in a very predatory way that they were not looking at me before because of how exposed I had been on stage. So I literally did not feel safe leaving the venue. And I'm not saying this was sexual assault, although people are debating that in that comment section, but as someone who has been assaulted, this situation gave me that same feeling where it feels like you need to purge and like clean out your insides, you know, just that nasty, gross feeling. There's a couple comments on Xandar's video being like, oh, she signed up for that, why is this such a big deal, blah blah blah. Colleen exploited my minor body for entertainment and money and did not protect my safety at this show. As an outsider looking into this situation, it may seem like this wasn't a big deal, but this was really pretty scary for my teenage self, and especially as someone who loved and looked up to Colleen. And I could never say anything because everybody loved her. But this is who she really is. She uses kids for her own gain. I was a minor, and again, she did not protect me. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about taking your kids to a Miranda show, I would advise you to think twice because you may come back with years of trauma, and I don't wish that on anyone.
But that's a good example of what she would do. She would also have this bit where she would have little kids stick their hand down her pants to get a snack. And I just truly don't know who ever thought that was funny, like ever. There was literally no one around you that was like, that's a little weird. Maybe don't make a toddler reach in your pants for a cheese puff. Nobody? Okay. Maybe we need to get a better circle. Oh, someone said Colleen's mother in a private chat with a minor fan. Oh, I didn't know about this. I knew that it ran in the family because of her brother and seemingly someone else because all this trauma had to come from somewhere. But I didn't know that the mama was in. Okay, breaking news. So someone said I was warned by Colleen's own mom in 2016 about the content of Colleen's show. They posted a Twitter DM from Collen Ballinger saying, cover your ears for some parts of the show. And the fan said, okay, is it really loud? LOL, I will make sure to bring earmuffs. Gwen said, of course it's loud. Some things are, I don't know what that face is. It's like a face. For anyone not watching, you're not going to know what I just did, but missed out. She said some content, LOL, implying that some content is not appropriate. And the kid said, yeah, I know, I was joking. Yeah, sure, sorry, I meant to reply, anyway, how is everyone? Why is the whole family, like... I just think this is so strange, but also her own mom. Sorry, girl, your own mom exposed you. That was interesting. I didn't know about that little part. There's also other stuff like racial stuff. And no, I'm not talking about the black face, green face debacle. I'm talking about her making cover songs that are racist and just all kinds of stuff. Like truly, the woman is unhinged. I think that's the best way to put it. So she had some fans accuse her of inappropriate behavior with evidence, and she responded to it by whipping out a ukulele and playing us our favorite catchy song. The top song of 2023. Toxic Gossip Train. So, and the internet has forever been changed after that. So during this time, a lot of the victims were speaking out and corroborating, I can never say that word correctly, each other's stories. And one of those victims happened to be Johnny Silvestri. I had seen his interview with the Do We Know Them podcast, and he seemed pretty believable at the time to me. A little bit of foreshadowing. And long story short, it turns out that not only did Johnny Silvestri lie, which if you're not familiar with his allegations, he was saying that Colleen's ex-husband, Joshua David Evans, was a groomer. So everybody was coming out the woodwork accusing the whole family. And it's come out that he just lied.
Johnny, the victim of Colleen Ballinger, lied. He manipulated me, manipulated Jesse Smiles and Lily Marston. He manipulated Ethan Klein, Gila, Olivia, all from the H3 podcast. He tried to stick Adam beneath his feet and told Adam that his story was way more important than Adam's story. He also made his stories more important than Oliver and Becky. Johnny himself was not only talking inappropriately to minors, but encouraging them to get drunk, watched minors drink alcohol, taught them sexual phrases with his buddy Tim Connolly, actively been in group chats on video calls with minors for over 6 years. And there's more. Oh, and he also actively took part in downloading Trisha's images, making fun of them, and then sending them off when he lied and said that he never did that. I befriended him. This all really sucks for me personally, but I had to rectify this.
He just lied. It also came out that he was basically just trying to capitalize off Adam McIntyre and the other victims' stories for clout.
I need everybody to watch Adam's latest video. Johnny told Adam straight to his face that his stories were not more important than his. He stole Adam's story of what actually happened to him, twisted it to be Josh, but like 3 times worse. Started moving how Adam moved, letter for letter, word for word. Adam would tweet about Colleen, well then he would tweet 3 times harder about Josh. He would go to Adam and ask Adam to platform him on multiple occasions. He specifically lined up his video about Josh to come immediately after Adam talking about Colleen. He admitted it's because he wants to build a social media presence and he wants to be a star. Johnny also allegedly, leading up to the H3 podcast, said that there needed to be a leader, that he wanted to control most of the conversation, so he would head up a lot of the conversation, which is why he ended up stealing the conversation away from Becky and Oliver, diminishing them. He intertwined his story so much with Adam that he told Swoop, if you don't believe me, you don't believe Adam.
It was a whole big thing. I mean, it has literally taken over the internet. Swoop is the one that exposed it. Love her. Been watching her for years. But on the Do We Know Them podcast, they were in favor of Johnny. And a lot of people felt like this wasn't right, and they got a lot of backlash for it. And so that's kind of what we're going to be digging into today, is just Johnny himself and also Johnny in relation to the Do We Know Them podcast, with a little bit of Trisha Paytas in there because she is involved. And there's just mess. It's just messy, honestly. It really is. So strap in. I'm serious. Hold on. I was going to skip a little bit of this Reddit list about the problematic behavior of Colleen because quite literally I don't have time. It's a huge list. Tell me why there's a whole section that says leaving her bodily fluids in places. It says popping in a prop toilet. I'm sure that means pooping, which is fucking gross.
I have not punched him in the face, but I did do something really bad once. I know exactly who I want to, I saw him right now, I want to punch him in the face. I can't believe I did. Okay, so I do tours. By the way, Gabby's going on tour. You better see it. I'm probably on tour right now. I go on tour often. And on tour, I deal with a lot of assholes because I go to theaters and the people at the theaters are always like, who's this stupid YouTuber? They just see me with lipstick all over my face. I'm like, we don't want to be here. They're always rude. It's a very tech-heavy show. So we have a projector and all these videos. The whole show is timed with video projection and songs and lights and all this stuff. I have to have a projector. It's in my rider. You know it before I get there. You have to have a working projector and a screen. I get to this theater. They're like, we don't have a projector. Go buy one. We're like, oh! Sitting in my dressing room, furious. And I have to take a shit.
I'm so fucking nervous about where this is going.
I'm so mad. I go to the bathroom, sit down on the toilet, and watch something and go, wow, this bathroom looks really weird. Like, there's a lot of props in here. There's a lot of, like, random stuff. Like, there's, like, a lot of stuff. So I'm looking around going, like, this is crazy. I get up, I try to flush, and I had, like, a lot of poop because I was stressed. So I had, like, the stress poops, you know, like the crazy diarrhea poops. Filled up this toilet, like, with so much poop. Tried to flush it, and I was like, this isn't flushing. And then realized it was a prop toilet because I was at a theater. In a prop toilet and left it. Did not even try to clean it. I was like, that's what you get. You're rude to me, you make me buy my own projector, you can clean up my poop out of your prop toilet that you're gonna put on stage in some show tomorrow.
Leaving period blood on a white couch at a fancy restaurant. Okay, that one, let me just say from the female perspective, you know, sometimes that do be happening and you're not planning for it. I don't think that one was malicious. Okay, I'm gonna give her that one. But if you pooped in a prop toilet, that's disgusting. Left overflowed toilet water with poop at an open house. Who poops at an open house? Who goes to the bathroom period at an open house? My goal is get in and get out because there's too many people there. You're pooping and leaving it overflowing in a house full of other people. I know this is not the highest on the list of egregious behavior or things that she has done, but that is disgusting. That's so gross. Okay, here we go. All right, I love the way this Reddit thread is broken down for me because now we're gonna go over an abridged version of what happened with the Swoop expose of Johnny Silvestri. The players. Swoop, real name Spanky Valentine, who posts investigative, is it investigative or investigative? You know what, shut up. Videos delving into online drama as well as true crime. Did a great series on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Loved it. Posted the third installment of her investigation into the Collen Ballinger scandal on August 17th, 2023, titled The Devil in Colleen Ballinger's Shadow. He lied to everyone. Johnny Silvestri, one of the main accusers who has come out in the wake of the Colleen Ballinger scandal, previously featured on an interview with H3 along with two victims of Colleen. He worked on Colleen's tour circa 2018, accused Colleen's ex-husband Joshua David Evans of forming an inappropriate relationship with him when he was a minor and grooming him. Leaked screenshots of Colleen sending him Trisha's nudes in 2018 when he was a 21 to 22-year-old. Currently, he is 27 years old. Adam McIntyre, former Colleen stan, victim of years of grooming at the hands of Colleen. We know him, we love him, we do. Tim Connolly, Johnny Silvestri's former best friend, wannabe musician, and certified creep, who recruited young fans, sent them abusive messages, and encouraged them to drink on video chat. I had never heard of him before, me either, but the accusations against him are disturbing. So, while all the victims were presenting their experiences with Colleen, Johnny was faking evidence. He was presenting fake screenshots. He was like taking messages out of conversations, like editing them out and then sending them when they were doctored, just faking it. And essentially, from my understanding, Joshua David Evans and Johnny met at a show when Johnny was younger. I don't know if he was underage for any of this. Maybe he was. I think he was when they met. I think he was like 15. And Joshua David Evans gave him his number on a crown after he won it and basically was like, I'll be your mentor, all that kind of stuff. Now, that part, a little weird. Okay, I don't think we can deny that. I think the internet was a different time. We didn't really know how to use it. And I do understand how Joshua said he just felt like it was good to connect with your fans. I understand that part. I think it's still a little weird. However, in context, he gave him his number in front of his parents. So it wasn't like a meet me in the back of this alley and I'll give you my digits, boy. Like, it wasn't like that. It was, I'm gonna mentor you. You seem like a good kid. You seem like you want to be in the industry. Let me help you. Beyond that, Johnny said that they hung out a lot and it just didn't happen. Honestly seemed like Joshua was annoyed a little bit by Johnny. He didn't respond to his messages. He wasn't obsessed with him like Johnny was saying. Every time they had like a get together, Johnny's parents were there until he was of age. It really wasn't like on some weird stuff as far as I can tell. Now that being said, Joshua has apologized. What the fuck is wrong with my mouth today? Joshua has apologized to Johnny multiple times, publicly, privately. I feel like they're all pretty genuine. I really don't think he is a I think he just was a little bit ignorant. Probably shouldn't have done that, but it wasn't giving what it was presented as. So once all this was found out by Swoop, she dropped a 4-hour documentary that I've watched like 3 times just to make sure that I got everything, and I still don't think I did. She was basically saying that Johnny used her and her platform to spread lies. He told the other victims that his story was more important than theirs, even though it wasn't true. It also came out that Johnny himself was throwing stones in a glass house because he is still and has been for the entirety of his 20s in group chats with minors. So it's just like, where does it end with this group? Where does it end? So when Johnny was exposed, he dropped a statement, as you know they do, and it was bad, as you know they are. So I'm going to read that real fast. And he's left it up too. I was like, that is bold. I don't think I would. Just obviously trying to capitalize off real victims, which is so gross. This is why people don't believe victims. And it reminds me of when Toxic Gossip Train actually came out. Someone close to me was like, if I didn't know the whole situation and I saw someone just singing a song about it, I would assume it's the internet overreacting because they tend to do that. And while I don't agree, this is a scenario that fuels that when real allegations get thrown to the side because the forefront is this person who is lying. And Johnny, you should be ashamed of yourself. As Swoop said, who has more grace than me, it is not too late. I really hope that you get yourself together. You could still be a good person. It would be a little bit hard. You got a long journey, but you could do it. That being said, I don't have a lot of faith based on this statement. So he said, betrayed is an understatement. My trauma was used against me today in a way I had never imagined would happen. I was given guidance and a safe space to share my story. You were 6 hours of guidance in a safe space. I was praised for being so vulnerable and honest, only to be defamed on such a gross level. It feels beyond explanation right now. I really think we need to be more well-versed in what defamed actually means because we love to throw that around. And here's the thing. A defamation case takes forever, is very expensive, and very hard to prove. You, me, the average general public, we don't have the money for that, okay? So throwing around like, you defame me. 1, she didn't. And 2, even if she did, you wouldn't have the money for a court case. I wouldn't have the money for a court case. It wouldn't happen. We need to stop acting like we could just sue people. Like we got sue people every day money. At least I don't. And I don't think he does either. I feel so hurt and disregarded. And imagine how hurt and disregarded the victims feel. Swoop, you claim to stand for victims, and what you did today was the polar opposite. You have no regard for my life, the trauma I faced, my safety, or the safety of so many others involved. You've completely shifted the narrative while making sure to promote your merch. I tweeted at this point, I was like, not you trying to water down a 4-hour interview to selling merch while you're tweeting about Vanity Fair noticing you and all this attention you're getting. You are as see-through as they come. You've completely shifted the narrative while making sure to promote your merch and fabricate a story for some extra revenue. She doesn't need you to get revenue. I am so beyond disgusted by all of this. I'm not going to sit here and defend myself to everyone for your heinous allegations about me via Notes app, but I will be making a proper statement regarding all of these disgusting and false allegations. This is 100% character assassination, and I won't stand for it. Swoop, you encouraged me and made me feel like you are a massive source of trust. She seems like she is, just not to people who lie. You chose to interview Adam about allegations regarding me rather than talking to me first, which for starters is scummy. That's not true. In her documentary, she literally said she reached out and was like, hey buddy, I'm doing some group chats with minors. You want to explain before I have to explain? So she did. She did. You wanted information at your request as if I wasn't working full time and in the process of moving, which I was upfront about. That's also not true. You were being weird and asking her what kind of stuff she was looking for, which you shouldn't have to, she said she felt like, because no one else asked that question. And then you were being dodgy, saying that you couldn't get off your old computer, but you could, but you couldn't, but you could. And then the screenshots weren't matching up, which she didn't tell you at the time, but you had to have known when you wrote this, so you just sound dumb. But Also, you think she's not busy? You really think she's not busy making full-length documentary videos? You think she's not busy? You wanted the clout. When it was time to provide the receipts, you didn't have them because it didn't happen. 2 + 2 is not 7, it's 4, which I was upfront about. You can call names and spread your lies, but I know my truth and I will not stop sharing it because of people like you. Okay, if you knew your truth and you knew the truth would exonerate the situation, wouldn't you provide her with those screenshots? And it doesn't take you out of those group chats. Like, it just doesn't. So yeah, he said that on August 17th. It is now August 28th. No statement. So that kind of says what it needs to say there. I do just want to say real quick for Johnny Silvestri's statement, Swoop is one of the only creators that has made me feel okay with my trauma and what I've been through. And I don't talk about it a lot, but it's a lot from childhood to now, like literally lost count. And there are so many people willing to victim blame and shame, or to be like Johnny and just completely lie about it and make victims look unbelievable, which has happened to me. I have had detectives and people on the police force not believe me, and it's a horrible feeling. I've had friends not believe me as well. It literally feels like being punched right in the heart. It feels worse than that, honestly, but it just really sucks. And it's disgusting that Johnny would not only do this and put so many people in his mess, but it's disgusting that in his statement he would be like, Swoop is not really there for victims. You watch your fucking mouth. One thing about Swoop is she is a safe space, and she is someone I trust, at least with how I receive information, and her content has really gotten me through. And I also know that by watching Swoop, obviously I don't know her in real life, but I can tell the kind of person she is, and I can tell that she would not release this information about you lightly. She's just not that kind of person. It probably killed her inside. I don't think I've ever even seen her that angry. And Adam McIntyre too. It's like when people are saying Adam McIntyre was making it up. For you to think that someone would care so much about you that they would just make up a 4-hour video is insane. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. I can't believe Johnny was found to be in group chats with minors when he said that that was one of the most despicable things that Colleen did. It's just crazy that you would out yourself when the attention wasn't even on you, knowing that this exists, knowing that these videos with you and minors and whatever exist. Like, it's so, the internet is crazy. Clout really is a hell of a drug because no one was even looking at you or checking for you like that, boo. And because you hated that no one was checking for you, now they're checking for you in a bad way. Something I'm looking forward to is that Swoop actually did get an interview with Joshua David Evans. It has not dropped yet. It will be in part 4 of the doc. I eagerly await that. But while we are waiting for that, let's go into how this involves, sadly, one of my favorite podcasts, the Do We Know Them podcast. So as I said earlier, they had Johnny Silvestri on for an interview where he spread a bunch of BS. And if y'all don't know, Jesse Smiles, one of the hosts on that podcast, has been through abuse. Just for candor or to be, transparent, I am an abuse victim as well. So if I have a bias in this story, feel free to let me know. I'm going to try to approach it as unbiased as possible, but no guarantees. With subject matter like this, I can only try. That's what I can do. So they were understandably on the wrong side of history, as Adam McIntyre put it, and people started coming for them because not only did they platform Johnny Silvestri before they knew, but people felt like they were not very open to hearing Joshua David Evans' side. And in this situation, he did end up being the victim. So people felt like, how could you guys say that you're victims yourself and you treated a victim this way? And people were really coming for them, especially this one person. Like, it was a little bit crazy. That's the part of the internet that I really think can just go sit in a corner forever and never come out. I do understand how to a lot of people, they came off very standoffish and like they were victim blaming, victim shaming. I get where you could feel that way, but I think something that we really need to take into account is Swoop has a whole team, and this was in a 4-hour doc over months, and that's how long it took them to uncover it. The Johnny Silvestri Do We Know Them interview had already happened by then. It wasn't like they just willingly chose not to know, It wasn't like they were just like, I feel like misinforming people today. It wasn't that. Johnny Silvestri had fooled everybody. There was no reason not to believe him at the time, because if she did do that, y'all would be like, oh, you're victim blaming, shaming. She couldn't have been on both people's sides, because that wouldn't have made sense with the way the original story was told. told. So I don't see a way this could have gone where someone wouldn't see her as a victim blamer, victim shamer. I understand they were rolling their eyes and maybe were a little bit more callous to it than they should be. You also have to understand everybody on here is a human being. I know that that's not an excuse to misinform, but they're not a news station. They're not journalists. We're all just on here talking about shit. You know, we're all here sitting in on other people's drama and other people's lives. It doesn't always end up clean. Sometimes it's going to get messy. And as long as they take accountability, which I feel they did, you know, but Joshua David Evans was saying that they don't care and that they don't do their research. And I don't think that that's accurate. I think that's mischaracterizing. I think he has every right to feel upset. And I understand why them not mentioning him sooner, because it did take them a little bit of time to respond, would look like a slight and feel like a slight. He has since retracted this, I think, and said that he's forgiven them and whatever, and that he's still navigating this, which is very mature of him. But I just think the slew and onslaught of hate was not necessary. Basically, people were saying that Jessie is not unbiased enough to cover this and that her own experiences clouded her judgment. And to that, I say, I don't think that's fair. I really don't. I think he fooled everyone. Everyone has a bad take or two. Sometimes you cannot be perfect. And I also think we need to hear from other victims. I've watched every single episode of theirs since it came out, and I do not see them as people that don't do their research and throw things out willy-nilly. I haven't seen either one of these creators that way, even before they started this podcast. That's just not the kind of people they seem like they are. And while I understand Joshua's frustration, this whole thing was so fresh and there were so many layers and it was so hard to keep up with. I just think that asking someone to have a 30,000 foot view on a situation that has a ceiling that taps out at 10,000 feet is a little bit short-sighted of the internet, and I think we attack for no reason. I really think we need to dial it back a little. Like, damn, like y'all really need to calm down. They have since apologized and addressed this, and I think it was a refreshing apology because they admitted what they did wrong, but they also weren't like, well, you guys can just shit all over us if you want to. They were like, hey, I feel like some parts we did not deserve, and I agree with that. And not everyone agreed with that. They saw it as dodging. I didn't see it that way. I genuinely think that this podcast is one that has been known for correcting themselves and being ethically where they need to be. And at the end of the day, you have to see it from the outside where they had no reason to not believe this person. They just didn't. And especially because the first interview they did with him got deleted or something, and he agreed to come back for a second one. So at that time, they're seeing it as this person who we have to inconvenience to do a second interview that takes hours, is willing to be here and is willing to tell us his story. And it was so specific. It really didn't seem like there was a reason for him to be lying this bad. Come on now, y'all. We can't be mind readers. I think we need to chill out a little bit and give some grace, because if it was you, you'd be like, I didn't know. What do you want me to do? And if you say you wouldn't, you're lying. I think everyone in the situation is despicable besides the victims and Swoop, who was inadvertently made a victim. I think Johnny is just, wow, something's definitely not right. And I think Joshua, I understand his frustration, because I don't want everyone to look back at this and feel like I was not as courteous to him as I could be. I really do understand how he's like, hey, I'm past all that, and these allegations are something that could cost me everything. Being called a groomer could cost you your job. It could cost you literally everything. I do see from his perspective how he's like, I am so far removed from that. I have apologized the best way that I can, privately, publicly, to this person. They are not willing to hear it. I have done the growing. I am trying. He had been to the point of suicide prior. Totally understand. I really do where Joshua was coming from his perspective of getting attacked nonstop by Colleen's fans, who, let's not forget, like, Colleen was not a small YouTuber. Okay, she had like 10 mil between other channels. I'm sure it's something like 20 mil. She had her own Netflix show. Like, she really does have a lot of people behind her and a lot of children behind her who are very vicious. So I understand him being like, man, I'm just trying to live my life. I'm trying to move on from this. No one will allow me to, especially when his apologies did seem genuine and the whole situation was mischaracterized by Johnny. I just know that two things can be true at once. And while he was upset with this, rightfully so, I don't think it's right to characterize Jessie and Lily as malicious, clout hungry misinformants. That is extremely hyperbolic and not true. They do care. They do try to do their research. They have never struck me as we're just trying to go viral. They hold themselves accountable when they have the information wrong. They did here too. I really understand how both parties feel on this, and I think they're both valid in the way they feel, and that is what I have to say on it. I really hope we can be done with this because this topic is exhausting. I'm sure that the victims want to breathe. So the toxic gossip train needs to come to a stop. Where's the next station? Because like immediately, the train needs to go out of commission. Is that a thing? I don't know. But if it is, it needs to. Now I want to bring in one more element to this story before we move on to our second topic, and that is Trisha Paytas. So as we said earlier, her role in this was one that was not consensual. It was Colleen sending her pictures to minors, her OnlyFans pictures to minors. She has since come out with several videos where she says she feels guilt. She feels guilty that she traumatized people. She feels guilty that they had to see that and they couldn't consent to that even when they were adults, and especially when they were minors. She has denounced Colleen, and they used to be real buddy-buddy. They had a podcast. She said that this person does not exist to her anymore, all of these things. And we were like, yeah, Trisha, you're on the good side for once. Well, here's the thing. And everything is a legend. Some things have come out. I don't know how credible the source is because this is one of the people that was attacking Lily and Jesse. I don't know what this person is thinking because they're just a lot. They seem a lot. They tweeted that Trisha Paytas knew the whole time because she participated in Colleen Ballinger shows. Now, do I think that means she knew that her nudes were being sent around to minors and other people? No. Do I think that means that she knows everything that was happening behind the scenes with Miranda Sings? No. But I do think that she knew a little bit more than she's letting on. The person who posted it said that she was fondling herself in front of a crowd of kids. Now, there are a lot of people, including myself, who said that they don't see where she's doing that. So take that with a grain of salt. But I think the more important part is just that she was there in the first place. I have mixed feelings about Trisha Paytas, not only as a person of color, but for a lot of other reasons. I'm not going to sit here and be like, woo, she's the best person ever. Trisha Paytas is amazing. She should be president. She definitely tends to have the right opinion more lately than she has. But if you were on tour and you saw what was happening, that kind of takes that credibility away a little bit. Bless you. We got a cat sneezing in here. But yeah, that's basically the wrap up. I kind of just wanted to include the Do We Know Them podcast being looped in this because I think that they're really good people. I really do. Deep down, I don't think this was malicious. And maybe some inappropriate reactions came out. They're human. We're human. We're capable of learning, growing, making mistakes. And I think the internet could really use some compassion because it is a lot. But without further ado, let's move on to the next topic. So, pink sauce. I genuinely don't know why we're still talking about it. But for those of you who don't know, Chef P is a TikToker that blew up like last year, I think, for making a pink sauce. Not really sure what it's supposed to taste like. Some people say ranch, some people say honey mustard. I think it just looks nasty. She made a bunch of TikToks of her eating this sauce, putting it on everything, taking it to restaurants. People got curious because of the color, so she started selling it, which sounds great. Woo, small business, right? No, because Chef P was sending this product that needed to be refrigerated to people unrefrigerated, and it was exploding. It had gas bubbles in it. The nutritional information was wrong, and people were trying to tell her this. I remember she was on live. People were like, is it FDA certified or something? And she was like, it's not a medical product. Like, Miss Ma'am, the F in FDA is food.
What do you mean FDA approved? I don't sell medical product. The pink sauce is not a medical product. The pink sauce don't contribute to your health. I never said that.
So anyway, after it started exploding a little bit, literally and figuratively, why do I talk? Literally and figuratively. She was offered a deal with Dave's Hot Sauce and she was like, money, 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 bet, let's do it. I'm going in Walmart. I'm going wherever you'll let me. And I was just in Walmart the other day and I saw one of her pink sauces and I really want to try it. And if you want me to try it, let me know in the comments. I'm here with an important update. No, it isn't the same day, but I'm in the same outfit. So A for effort. I got the pink sauce. I went to Walmart. Actually, no, I didn't go just for you, Chef P. Sorry. I went to get groceries. I saw it. I was like, you know what? Bug it. Let's go ahead and make sure that she's not bankrupt anymore and get some pink sauce. And let me just tell you this. If you're not watching, I'll just describe it for you. Pink sauce is not pink. It's like yellow, orange-ish. It is not pink even a little bit. It's not. Okay. I've got my little veggie meatless nugget. And we're going to get into this. It was like $7 too. So I'm glad I waited. It was $20. So the cap already broke and I wasn't twisting it like crazy, but girl and Dave's, that's on both of y'all. What the hell? Woo! Okay, poured kind of a lot. Here we go. Honestly, kind of fire. Kind of tastes like Caesar dressing and ranch, which doesn't sound like it should be good, but kind of is. So Dave's Gourmet, give Chef P more money. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that was my update. Kind of shocked that I like it. Kind of sad, but also kind of glad because I don't want to waste $7 on a bottle of sauce I don't like. But hey, it's kind of good. Let's get back to it. After she got a deal, people were still on her because everyone was like, well, we want to make sure that you're being safe about this. And one particular person left a TikTok review and she was super nice about it. She was not mean at all.
Okay, y'all, I've been back and forth all day whether I wanted to make this or not, but I bought it in the first place to review it. If you look at the order receipt, I ordered it July 1st. That was before any of the reviews came out, so I bought it because I wanted to give y'all 100% honest review. So that is what I'm here to do. My bottle doesn't look swollen. It gives. There's no swollen. I've checked the seal. Everything's good on that. And if I get sick, at least I have someone sick with me. It's sealed. There's no air coming in or out of it. It smells like ranch. Like it smells like the dry ranch packaging. So there's really not like a bad smell to it at all. She's a little bit more brave than me, so we're just gonna put that on there. Cheers. Doesn't really have a taste.
Like sweet ranch.
The aftertaste, I'm not messing with. It's like watered down ranch, just like everyone's saying. But
yeah,
there's like a sweet aftertaste that is not good. Like I would not eat this on my pizza. I wouldn't dip my chicken nuggets in it. She will, obviously, because she's still eating it. So if anyone ends up in the hospital, it's going to be her. It's not bad. Definitely not worth $20 a bottle, but we support small businesses. I don't know if she's fixing things or not. That's not my problem, but it's decent. It's not disgusting, but it's not for me. I don't really like it. I don't even know what I would dip in this. So, yeah, totally do not recommend.
And what ended up happening was they invited Chef P and this customer on a show called The Karamo Show. And the host, Karamo, and Chef P just laid into this poor customer and were like, you're not special. You don't matter. I don't care if you don't like my sauce. Blah, blah, blah.
You're not special. Okay? So why should I lose my mind and approach you directly when you're fabricating something on the internet?
Well, I will say this because I want to hear both of your sides. I will say this, Chef P, as a businesswoman, no matter what someone reviews your products, unfortunately, everyone is special to you because that's going to be your business.
I could have, taken down the video and done my testing and kept it to myself, which I did.
No, you could have reached out to me like, hey, girl, you know what? I see what you're doing. It's amazing and all. I'm a supporter, but I think you should look into this. Take this step. Did you research this? Did you check out your packaging there? Versus trying to tear down my business and my livelihood. You could have contacted me directly, Can
you receive that?
Yeah, and you keep saying that I should have reached out to you, but and also, I'm gonna touch your hand when I say this. When I said that you're not special, I meant that as you're not special as far as someone trying to hurt me. So I didn't take it as a direct insult because I know the industry and I know how people use different topics to build their platforms. That's all I'm saying.
I think this is a moment of reflection.
Absolutely, and I think it's a moment of learning on both parts.
I think the learning is more on your part.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's being real. Her livelihood, her safety is being affected now. And these are things that we don't think about. This moment is for you to realize that your power is really in what you're saying and what you're doing. And that one video that you did for that second, the follow-up video, had ripple effects that you have to acknowledge is there. Because if it was on the other foot, you'd be sitting here upset, crying, mad if you had to move every week because you and your child were in danger.
Absolutely.
So this is the moment for you just to say, you know what? Next time, I will take this step. Before I post something, I'm going to do my research. Before I do something, I'm going to reach out to her. Before I do something, I'm really going to realize, is this really my responsibility? Your responsibility is to build each other up as women.
Then that made the public perception of her way, way worse because it was like you just laid into a customer that did nothing for no reason. Okay. And it's just kind of been a roller coaster ever since. After all that happens, everything kind of drops off a little bit. The customer had originally sent the sauce to a food lab, which was the big source of contention. And she was like, I'm not going to release it because they're fixing it. If they weren't, it'd be another issue, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward. Chef P has now come out to say that she is bankrupt and that she is blaming Dave's hot sauce for her bankruptcy and she can't even feed her children. And it's a whole thing. Let's just get into it. So, pink sauce creator Veronica Shaw has started a GoFundMe saying she's completely broke and was financially sabotaged by Dave's Gourmet after putting her sauce on the market in 2022. Despite the controversy surrounding pink sauce, Dave's Gourmet soon picked up the viral dressing later that year and found itself on shelves in retailers like Walmart. However, this money didn't seem to pay off for Shaw, who recently started a GoFundMe page saying she's financially destitute after partnering with Dave's Gourmet. Pink sauce creator says she lives on $20 a day. In her GoFundMe, Shaw claims that Dave's Gourmet are not paying me and are not being transparent about the records of their business arrangement. As a young entrepreneur with big dreams, I followed my intuition and went forth toward my dreams to create something new. I made a few mistakes on the way, which led me to trust a company that's trying to take away everything from me. They lied to me. I have been silenced and financially sabotaged, she added. I am a single mom and I do everything for my kids. Right now, I don't even have enough money to buy my kids food on my own. My mom is on disability and has been giving us $20 just to get by on a daily basis. This GoFundMe picture is doing the uttermost. Let me ask you this. If you're in a situation where you can't feed your kids, would you be getting a professional shoot done with all the hair, the makeup, the skin, paint? Would you be doing all that? Shaw's GoFundMe fundraiser is set at $100,000, but thus far she's only raised just over $900. Some users are even roasting her in the page's comments. Oh, I saw. We're gonna read a few. Hi, chef, in quotation marks. Did you figure out what the FDA does yet? Perhaps you should have taken in the constructive criticism instead of rejecting it and becoming arrogant and condescending. I only donated to type this comment. You are not special. Someone else said, that's what you get. Someone else said, restaurants are always hiring for cooking positions. Maybe try it for a week to see if you like the working class vibes, chef. So they're laying into her. They really are. Dave's Gourmet has since made a response to Chef P's allegation, so let's read that. So according to a Business Insider article, they said, we disagree with Ms. Shaw's allegations, a company spokesperson said. Dave's Gourmet has paid Chef P over $120,000 to date, and it continues to make all payments as due and on time based upon the terms of the contract. Insider reviewed screenshots of bank statements shared by Dave's Gourmet reflecting payments it says it made to Shaw, as well as a company called Flavor Crazy Incorporated, which is registered in her name. There were 12 total transactions in the screenshots, totaling $120,000. So that's kind of that on that. I mean, if you want my honest thoughts, I think this has been a disaster and doom from the start because Chef P has just come out of the gate real abrasive. She made her own bed when she decided to not educate herself on proper handling of food and food distribution, not knowing what the FDA is, just being real argumentative, not hearing her customers out. I just think that this has kind of been the only way it could go. It's been a roller coaster the whole time. That being said, I obviously feel bad for her kids. I also looked on her TikTok and she's posting all kinds of weird stuff like posting let men cheat. Also, she posts a lot of chef's videos with a lot of what looks like to be really good quality food. She also posts her getting her hair done and that kind of thing. So my response would be, if you are not making more than $20 a day, which you're getting from your mom's disability to pay for your children, why are you continuing, or how are you continuing to make these high-end cooking videos unless one, you're lying to everyone, two, you're lying to your mom to get some of her disability, which would be despicable, or three, maybe she really is out of money, but I would say, why would you take this $120,000 profit, which for the average person could last a long time, depending on how you budget it? Why would you take it and spend it on things like hair and nails and whatever when you do have children and you do have to look out for them and that should have been saved? That would be how I would look at it. The GoFundMe. As someone who models and does my own photo shoots for my music and for modeling gigs, I understand how much goes into it. The photographer alone is a couple hundred. You had face paint on, you had full hair glam makeup. Even if you did it yourself, you had to buy those things. I don't foresee any makeup company sending you that. I could be wrong, but you're not a makeup-based influencer, so I don't see why they would. And you haven't been, relevant for a little bit now. So my thing is, when you do have people, little tiny ones, that depend on you, I don't think that what she's been posting shows that she's been saving that money in a reasonable way. Dave's Gourmet, I think she once again is shooting herself in the foot here. And I'm really not sure what she expected. Like, I don't know if she just expected the company to not say anything, because if you did, they're not just gonna let you slander them, baby. Like, that's not realistic. I do hope she is able to get herself together for her children's sake. Honestly, she just needs to lay low and just kind of, figure herself out. Just figure yourself out, because you're constantly making irresponsible decisions that are not helping you or your future or your family's future. So maybe you need to take a step back and just chill out. That's just so short-sighted too, by ruining this relationship, because you could have got more money with this collaboration. She also said that she was spending her own money on marketing materials. I'm not sure what she means by that, because because it looks like she was just doing TikToks. Again, if she means the photo shoots and things like that, that would have to be something I would have to see their contract for. I just hope she gets it together because I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about pink sauce. I'm tired. If you've made it this far, comment pink sauce. Oh, quick tea. Okay, this is going to be super fast because I don't know the nuances and whatever. Britney Spears and Sam Asghari, I think that's how you say his name, getting divorced. Hallelujah. Oh my gosh, I can't say enough how happy I am that she is away from that man. Hey, it seems like everyone is there to just exploit Miss Britney and we hate it. And I know that this is cold tea, but I didn't get a chance to say it before. We love it. Everybody leave Britney alone. Let her live her life. And I wish nothing but the best for her. And I hope she actually gets the love and the care and the freedom that she deserves. It's very interesting because now she's away from Miss Luam, whatever, Taylor, the person that put her in the conservatorship. Apparently Justin Bieber is working with her. And I'm like, oh, I know we're all leaving Scooter, you know, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, Justin Bieber, J Balvin, they left Scooter and woo, we love that. But going to Luam Taylor, I don't know about it. Oh, she's an American businesswoman. I don't know why I said that in a British accent. It just felt like the right way to say it. It feels like it needs to be dramatic. An American businesswoman. I don't know if that was better. But yeah, boo. I heard she copy strikes too. So girl, if you see this, you better calm down. Other than that, let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. I am trying to be as regular with these podcasts as I can be. For anyone who doesn't know, it is just me by myself. And it's a lot. It's a lot to run an entire podcast and do all the things while you're trying to do other things. I also make music, work full time, and you know, it just really is a lot. And candidly, in a vulnerable moment, I'm not doing super great. You know, I just feel like I'm in a very transitional part of my life where I am really trying to be serious about what I want to do, the kind of people I want around me. And it just feels like a very heavy time and a very isolating time for me. And on top of that, my health is garbage. I'm really trying to be consistent. And if you're going through something, I know this was a heavy episode and I know life is heavy. Just know that I'm here for you. Things will get better. Just keep your head down. Do what you gotta do. Don't even worry what people think about you. Let them think it. And yeah, until next time, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Listen to my song, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Baby, I'ma leave you on red. Yeah, I know you want me. You better get in line. I'm everybody's dream girl. See me when you lay your head down at night. Baby, just keep it pushing. I don't need your double taps. If I'm being honest, I'ma leave you on red. If I'm being honest, I'ma leave you on red. My vibes seem